Come to my circle where stories are told. Sit on my carpet, we'll fly to a land. Land of heroes, land of zeros. Come, come, come. In the royal palace of Hastinapur, in one of the rooms, two men were talking. Ha 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 ha! I am so happy to see those Pandavas in exile in the forest. Now for 12 years they will suffer in the forest. Ha 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 ha! Our plan to invite the Pandavas for a game of dice and defeat them worked. Ha ha ha! Said Duryodhan. Yes, indeed, my son, it worked, said Shakuni Mama. Just then a messenger came and gave a letter to Duryodhan. Duryodhan opened. These Pandavas, they managed to become famous even when they are in the forest in exile. Akshaya Patra. Akshaya Patra? What is that, my son? Asked Shakuni Mama. Yudhishthir prayed to the sun god and he gave them the Akshaya Patra. It is a vessel which can produce how much ever food that is required. However, there is one condition. Once the lady of the house has had her meal and the Akshaya Patra is washed, it cannot produce anything for the day. But these Pandavas, they have become famous again in the forest. Don't worry, my son. We shall find another way to defeat them, said Shakuni Mama. From that day onwards, Duryodhan was on the lookout for an opportunity to insult and defeat the Pandavas again. And he got that opportunity when the famous short-tempered sage Durvasa visited Hastinapur. Duryodhan and Shakuni Mama thought of a devious plan. They welcomed sage Durvasa and his troop with great pomp and show. They treated them to a fantastic meal. Sage Durvasa was pleased by Duryodhan's hospitality and he said, Duryodhan, I am pleased with your hospitality. Ask whatever your heart desires and you shall be given. Duryodhan was waiting for this opportunity. He said, Sage Durvasa, I am fortunate and pleased to have you visit my palace. However, I have only one wish and my heart goes out for my cousins, the Pandavas who are in the forest. May I request you to please go and visit them in the forest and seek their hospitality too, and bless them. However, they do not have any cooks, so they would be more comfortable if you go a little late for the midday meal, so that they have enough time to make arrangements. Sage Durvasa agreed. Duryodhan and Shakuni Mama were pleased and were sure that their plan would work. Sage Durvasa, unaware of this devious planning, left with his followers for the forest. They reached the Pandavas' home late in the afternoon. Yudhishthir welcomed them but was alarmed to see huge troop of followers along with Sage Durvasa. Sage Durvasa said, Ha, Pandavas, your cousin Duryodhan has been very kind and he has requested me to visit you. I shall take my students to the nearby river for a bath and then come back for the meal. Saying so, Sage Durvasa left along with his followers to the river. As soon as Sage Durvasa left, Yudhishthira rushed to the kitchen, hoping that Draupadi had not washed the Akshaya Patra. But to his dismay, she had already washed the Akshaya Patra and already had her meal. Oh, Draupadi, Draupadi, Sage Durvasa has come along with his troop, and they would be here for the meal now. What are we going to feed them? What are we going to do? And you are aware of Sage Durvasa and his temper. Nobody can save us from his curse now. We are doomed, Draupadi. We are doomed, said Yudhishthir. Draupadi and the Pandavas looked helpless with no solution in sight. That is when Draupadi walked out of the home and sat under the peepal tree. She folded her hands and started praying. Oh dear Krishna, oh my dear brother Krishna, please help us. I need your help. We need your help. And she started meditating. After a while, the Pandavas heard the footsteps of her horse. It was none other than Krishna. Draupadi was relieved to see Krishna. She welcomed him and was just about to tell him about her problem when Krishna said, "Oh dear sister, I have travelled a long way and I'm really hungry. First give me something to eat." Draupadi's face fell flat. She told him about the empty Akshaya Patra and also about Sage Durvasa and his followers who would be here for the meal. Krishna said, "Oh dear sister, I cannot imagine coming to a sister's house and going hungry. Go, get me the Akshaya Patra." Draupadi got the Akshaya Patra and showed it to Krishna. Krishna took the Akshaya Patra and said, "Oh, look, this grain of cooked rice, this is sufficient to satisfy my hunger." And he ate it. And immediately burped, "Oh," as if he had had a full meal. He told Draupadi, "Don't worry about Sage Durvasa and his followers," and he left from there. Meanwhile, at the river, the students had finished taking a bath, and as they came out of the river, everybody started burping. One of the followers told Sage Durvasa, "Guruji, we are all our stomachs are full and we can't think of eating anything right now. We know that the Pandavas are generous. However, they will get offended if we visit them and not eat anything. So we all suggest that we don't go back." Sage Durvasa thought and said, "I am also of the same opinion. I shall bless them from here and we shall continue on our journey." Thus, Sage Durvasa and his followers did not go back to the Pandavas' home, and Duryodhana's plan failed miserably. Now, this day when the Pandavas received the Akshaya Patra from the sun god is celebrated as Akshaya Tritiya. It comes in the spring harvest season in the month of April-May. And this is considered to be an auspicious day where everything grows in value. And you know what? We all have been gifted with this Akshaya Patra. And whatever you put in this grows. You put in love, compassion, kindness, it grows. You put in fear, guilt, shame, it grows. And it is none other than our mind. Whatever you put in that, it will grow. So, this Akshaya Tritiya, what do you plan to grow in value in your Akshaya Patra? Thank you.